Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Ed Painter's Backyard. We are here at milepost 26 on the Norfolk Southern H line. Earlier today, we did another live stream, and, well, there weren't any trains for almost 5 hours. Apparently, there was a train that got stuck somewhere between here and Atlanta. They didn't have enough power to get over the hill. We think it might be Braswell Mountain. But anyway, we've got some trains coming, and I'm enjoying dinner right now with my good friend Ed. We're gonna pan the camera back around over here. Say hey to everybody, Ed.
Hey, y'all.
So we're hanging out. We've got a couple friends. I'll come over here so people can see me too.
This train is right here.
Oh, we've got a train right here.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that close. Here's our actual first train of the day. Literally right here. That was a short one.
Yeah, probably either 223 or 125. Both of those trains come from Kansas City. Both have a tendency to have both auto racks and intermodal. Or not intermodal, but yeah, auto racks and intermodal. But we heard them talking on the scanner a tad earlier about 223, so that could very well be 223.
So I figured I'd take a few minutes here to interview the man, the myth, and the legend himself. So if you guys don't know who Ed is my good friend who lives here in the very small town of Cohutta, Georgia. It's a really beautiful place to live, isn't it, Ed?
It's a great place to live.
We're enjoying this evening.
We've probably got 4 times as many cows as people in this town. Easily.
I think you're right.
That's the right ratio, too.
I agree. So Ed, why don't you give everybody a little bit of background on this railroad? What railroad are we looking at right now?
Well, the H line runs between Chattanooga, Tennessee and Atlanta, Georgia. It's a major line on Norfolk Southern. It's fed from the north by C&O and TP from Cincinnati, and Danville, Kentucky traffic comes in from St. Louis, Kansas City, and so forth. It also, a number of different trains originate here, and so there's a large hump yard, the bus yard in Chattanooga, and it goes to Atlanta, and from Atlanta it may go to Jacksonville, Macon, various places like that to the south.
So we're eating right now as we watch trains. We've got some wonderful brats from Wisconsin. I'm going to introduce our friend Brian. Brian has come all the way from Wisconsin. You'll have to duck down there to say hi to everybody. So Brian, what kind of brats did you bring us today?
Oh, these are from a company called Newski's up in Wittenberg, which is north central Wisconsin. I've got a bacon cheddar bratwurst, just a regular smoked brat that they use applewood to smoke the brats, and then we have their foot-long hot dogs that they also smoke. So
that's a great place to just sit, watch trains, and enjoy a meal. And that's what we're doing right now. So we're glad to have you guys join us. We've got a few other guys back at the house right now, but feel free to ask any questions that you might have.
And just real quickly, the ATCS showed another train lined up right immediately behind this train we just saw, which we think was 223.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a northbound coming. It's somewhere in and around Dalton right now. And we heard the dispatcher communicating with 370, so it may be 370, although 370 is usually a morning train. But both the combination of whatever happened on Braswell Mountain or wherever train stalled, and likewise CSX, which Norfolk Southern has trackage rights over between Chattanooga to Stevenson, Alabama. CSX was doing significant maintenance work today. They had a curfew, so a whole bunch of stuff did not run that would normally run today, which would be between Memphis and Chattanooga.
So a real delay in the block.
Yeah, something like that. No, and I'm sure he did intend the pun too. So.
Oh, it was very well intended. I lied a little bit there. So, Ed, tell us a little bit about your property. How did you come across this awesome place?
Gee, there's a long story there, but I had a friend, a former wife, who I stay very good friends with, and still am a good friend with. But we were going to a daughter's graduation from college in Chattanooga, and I was considering buying some land and building a home up here. And we came down here and just looking around Cohutta. I'd been here before when I lived in Ottawa, Tennessee, back between 2002 and 2004. And it was a good place to take front train pictures. So we drove down the road and went to turn around at a location and started to leave. And she said, "Did you see there was a for sale sign on that land?" So we went back and got the information off the for sale sign, and in not too long a period of time, ended up purchasing the land. And a year and a half or so later, had a home built here on the property. Had a Southern Living House Plan person that I built. And laid the house out in a manner where my front porch sees both the I line and the H line. Sort of like what you're looking at here with the H line, and then the back porch actually sees the signal at Cohutta on the H line. And at any rate, it's a great place just to sit and watch trains. My library looks right out the main line. And,
so I'm like, whoa, I watched it.
If you like trains and you're retired, it keeps you busy and it's very enjoyable.
So Brian here, he has his own YouTube channel, and it's called Cheesehead Media. And I'm assuming because you're a Packers fan, being from Wisconsin and all.
Yeah, geez.
So he's got a channel and apparently does great drone videos, is what I've been hearing all day today.
Yeah, when I have the drone with me.
I can understand and relate to that.
I was rushing to get out the door today at a friend's house that I'm staying with down here, and it's still sitting on his kitchen table. Remember the tripod today for video.
That's good.
But not the drone, so.
I'll try not to ruin your video with talking. We'll both try not to.
Oh, it's off now, so.
Did you tell him about the eye line?
No, the eye line, the eye line is on the other side of my property. My property is essentially shaped like a triangle, and on the west side of the property is the H line that we're looking at. On the east side of the property is the I line. The I line was part of the original main line that was built basically connecting Bristol, Virginia, Tennessee, all the way through Knoxville, all the way down to Dalton, Georgia, before the Civil War. So it was here originally, but over time, with changes, they built a line from Cohutta here that connected over to Ottawa, Tennessee, that went to Chattanooga, and that became the main line, that tracked
this line right here.
The line here.
Yeah.
The I line remained an important line for many years because it connected the line coming from Knoxville, Tennessee, and Bristol, as well as the southern lines that go up to Bulls Gap and Appalachia and various places in southwest Virginia where significant quantities of coal were mined. And before the demise of coal-fired power plants, a significant amount of steam coal came that way to southeastern power plants. And so you could come down to the A line, which is the line from Bristol, Chattanooga. You come down the A line to Cleveland, Tennessee, and then take the I line down to Cohutta, and then the H line further south to wherever you were wanting the coal to go to at a power plant location in the southeast.
So Brian, is this your first time to Ed's?
This is my second time to Ed's.
Okay.
In fact, give me just about 30 seconds here. I'm trying to check in my flight with Southwest.
Sure.
Everyone understands the Southwest. If you check in right away, you get that nice A-line boarding.
Oh, yeah.
So as soon as it hits
you flying out tonight?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay.
So
good deal.
Actually, I have a video in the can that from Ed's from last year from my drone that goes live tomorrow.
Cool.
So,
Cheesehead Media. I'll show it here. Here's his card right there. Cheesehead Media. I realize it's probably backwards because of how the camera is right now. So if you're just now joining us, I hear that other train actually right now.
hey, position 53.
Perfect.
All right.
So for those of you just joining us, I'm hanging out here with my good friend Ed Painter. He owns this piece of property here. It's in between two Norfolk Southern lines. If you go to Cohutta, Georgia on Google Maps, you can see right where Ed's house is between the two lines. And how many trains a day would you say are here? Probably about 30-ish?
30 is a pretty decent guess. You've got a set group of trains, intermodals and regular freight trains, both the 300 and 100 series. But you get a significant number at the right time of the year, grain trains, ethanol trains, and things like that, you know, that increase the number sometimes.
Definitely, definitely. And it's been kind of interesting with COVID-19, with the train counts, but things are starting to pick back up now.
There's a significant period of time where a number of trains were annulled and combined and various things like that. Of course, precision scheduled railroading does some of that anyway by its nature. But over the last month or so, we've had a significant, a whole bunch of these trains have been put back in service, operating regularly like they used to. And then there were some numbering changes where there used to be some 200 series auto rack trains in Norfolk Southern. Now numbers those trains in 100 series. So we lost 285, but we gained 125, and you know, we lost 288 and we gained 188 and things like that. So.
What's probably your favorite train to see out here on the railroad?
They're all nice.
You just like seeing them all?
I like trains, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably older than most of you are watching this right now. I mean, I grew up in southwestern Virginia, right on the West Virginia border, where I looked at Norfolk and Western steam locomotives and Virginian electric locomotives. And then you rail fan through the 60s and 70s and 80s, where you had just tremendous variety of motive power and lots of different railroads, which, you know, today we don't have very many Class 1s remaining. So, you know, I mean, it's interesting still, but it's such good business. There's such uniformity. There's not that many different locomotive models, and
well, yeah.
Still, you know, they're all nice to watch. I mean, you know, it's still fun. And I've got stock in Norfolk Southern, CSX, CN.
So you're pretty
CP.
happy right now, is what you're saying?
Yeah. So I mean, I like to watch, you know, the money earn money.
Absolutely.
I got a question for you, Ed, and I know the people that are viewing this can't see it right now, but in front of us, there's a couple of solar panels. I see some boxes. Are those flange greasers?
Those are flange greasers.
Okay, that's...
They're greasers, rail greasers, yes.
Okay.
And it's interesting, I mean, they're still here. I guess a lot of places they've been removing a lot of rail greasers.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole idea obviously was to minimize the wear between the flange and the rail, which both wore the flange and the rail, and, you know, at least the maintenance situations, so on and so forth. But I don't know, maybe they've done some more studies, and maybe the cost or whatever is not effective. I don't know.
So this is not the first time that Ed has lived next to a busy railroad track. Where was your last, well, not your last house, but back in the 90s, where was the last house you lived in next to a railroad track?
Back in the late 80s and 90s, when I worked for Duke Energy at Oconee Nuclear Station outside of Clemson, South Carolina, I lived on the Piedmont division of Norfolk Southern. I literally lived right on the tracks, and a little closer than here as far as the house would be to this main line. But we had 25 or so trains a day, and had a grade crossing literally in my backyard there. So, but and I had a model railroad building that literally looked right out at the railroad.
So Ed is a big model railroader, and some of you might know I work for scaletrains.com. I like to try to keep the two channels separate, so I don't try to cross the two too much. But if you go on Scale Trains YouTube channel, you can actually see some of the videos of Ed's layout. Ed did a video, it's titled Carbon Black Memories, and you can actually see some photos and videos that Ed took of carbon black cars in the 1990s with the Sid Richardson logo and all that. So, and of course, if you're interested in model railroading, Ed's layout is in the beginning stages. It's come a long way since you first moved here.
It's operational. You know, we've got virtually all the mainline track is down. We've got to go ahead and lay trackage into industries, and we've got some significantly large branch lines that have to be a little bit of bench work completed to cross over bench work between the main portion of the railroad and these branch lines. It's a pretty good sized railroad. And,
It's been infiltrated by orange though.
Yeah, he Drayden likes these dark Genesee and Wyoming looking things, I swear.
Well, we have a lot of fun.
I am wearing an orange shirt. Well, sort of orange.
It's more salmonish, I'd
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
And if you're from Appalachia, it's salmon, from what I understand. And waspers. They don't have wasps.
There's
they have
wasps and waspers. There's some waspers up there too. But
I love it. I love it.
I was from a sophisticated family, and my dad had a master's degree in engineering, so.
And it kind of runs. So Ed's got an interesting career. So he worked in the nuclear energy field, and it's just really interesting hearing some of his stories. But he also got to see a lot of trains, and you traveled a lot for your career too, didn't you?
I spent a significant amount of time with Babcock and Wilcox as a field service engineering type person. So, you know, working and traveling all over the country provided a lot of opportunity to take railroad pictures and so forth wherever you were.
Yeah.
And I mean, probably the best of all was being in Rochelle, Illinois for about 3.5 months, where I had an apartment about 2-3 blocks from the Diamonds back in 1987, which was a pretty nice thing. You know?
And back then it looked much different than what it does
it looked
today.
like it wasn't all that. Yeah, it wasn't rail fanned.
Mm-hmm.
It was normal. It was just, you know, standard Diamonds and
Yeah.
everything. No platforms and none of that stuff. Just, you know.
Brian, what's your favorite place to go rail fanning?
Oh boy.
I mean, if you can't pick one, just narrow it down to 3.
It narrowed down to 3. If you want to say local to where I am there in Wisconsin, it's probably anywhere along the Canadian National, north of Milwaukee, north of the Diamonds into Plainville to Shops Yard in Milwaukee. Byron Hills is still a lot of fun.
Old Milwaukee Road.
Sioux Line, no, Fort
Sioux
Woods,
Line.
Sioux Line, then Wisconsin Central, now Canadian National.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. What should have stayed CP ends up CN.
yes.
Makes no sense to me about that sale in the first place. But
That's a, you know, there's a nice area there, Tresha Wildlife Marsh, great area to fly the drone in. Closer down to me in the area that I live, south of Milwaukee, it's growing up so much, it's really hard to find a rural crossing, but there's a couple. Sturtevant, if you just want to sit and watch trains for days, Sturtevant, Wisconsin's real good. But really my favorite place to go rail fanning that I've ever been would have been out in Utah and Wyoming.
Okay.
Just watching trains around, you know, the Thistle Tunnels up to Helper was really a lot of fun. And then,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, then Ogden out to like Green River in Wyoming along the Overland Route.
Yeah, when you get into the different kind of territory, it's like, I tell people it's like rail fanning on Mars. You know, whatever you've seen in those Old West movies, that's what it looks like.
It is. And I guess my favorite place to rail fan really is any place that there's trains.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a hobby. It's in my blood, and I can't. You just have to enjoy it for what it is.
it's called an addiction.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Yeah,
It's
well,
an addiction. You know?
So just to give you guys a little bit of insight, so we've got some exciting videos coming in the pipeline. So recently I completed a series on Tennessee's mining railroad, Lawas, North America. I've got 3 videos coming out on that railroad, 3. And then I've got another video on trains in Memphis, Tennessee. It's more so just run-by footage. I didn't have a scanner. My scanner was stolen. We won't get into that, but Ed...
We must be cautious.
That's right, we must be cautious. So my scanner was stolen, and I didn't know what trains I was seeing and things like that. So it's just kind of a compilation video of random trains that I saw over the weekend in Memphis. I just finished another video on the new Chicago, Rock Island, and Pacific, that little short line down in Memphis, south of Memphis, I should say, in Mississippi. So I'm really excited about that one. Rode along with the train crew, did a bunch of interviews. Really excited about that video. And then I've got a 3-part series on the Georgia Central Railroad that I'm currently working on. And then after I get done with those videos, we're going to start remastering all of Ed's videos. So back in the 80s, late 80s,
90s, primarily 90s.
primarily 90s, Ed went and converted back to video, basically. He went and decided instead of taking stills, he was going to do video, and then kind of did a combination of them both. Our friend Carrie's joining. Hey, grab that other chair if you want to join us. So Ed's got this unbelievable collection of video footage, and he's one of maybe 4 people that I know that extensively shot the world famous Saluda grade in Saluda, North Carolina. So Ed's got a lot of the original Norfolk Southern steam program and things like that. And these videos have been in his basement for a very, very, very long time. And we decided that we were going to convert them, remaster them, narrate them. And what's really cool is because Ed, like myself, is a little bit OCD. So he actually wrote down what trains he was looking at when he had a scanner and things like that, where he was, what locomotives were on the trains. So it's actually going to be a pretty in-depth railfan series. And how many tapes do you think you have? Probably something like 40 or 50?
40 or 50 tapes,
something like that. I'm going to adjust the camera slightly.
It started out with VHS and then got height. So and with the work Drayden's doing with them, they're going to look pretty nice. And,
so let's
a lot of stuff in the southeast, like you said, in this steam program, and then stuff variety of different places too. My favorite rail fanning place is Pocahontas Division of Norfolk Southern, former N&W in West Virginia and Virginia. So there's a lot of stuff relating to that.
So let's take some fan questions. Does anybody have any questions for Ed or Brian or Carrie? This is Carrie, aka Danger Douglas. He's a little bit of a local celebrity, if you will.
Well, and if you got Trains magazine with their article on CSX, he had a whole group. How many photos in that?
I got about 4 of them.
He had 4 photos in Trains magazine's most recent article on CSX.
And if you go into Scale Trains headquarters, you'll see a beautiful painting done by a guy named Carol Lewis, and he chose one of Carrie's photos to do a really cool painting. He's watching the stream right now. Perfect. So let me go here, and I'm going to read some questions if we have any questions. So where's the next southbound? We got one coming.
It should be right behind this guy, but you know that's what it appeared to be on ATCS.
Jack Carson asks, Norfolk and Western or Southern? Out of the two, what's your favorite? I already know the answer to this one.
I grew up between, I was born in Bluefield, West Virginia, which is a Norfolk and Western town, and grew up on the N&W in southwestern Virginia. But my mom's parents lived in Lynchburg, Virginia, so when I would visit them, I would see the Southern. I mean, I remember green Southern passenger trains and so forth. But N&W is foremost my favorite railroad. I've been on the board of directors of the Historical Society, N&W Historical Society, on a couple of occasions, and I'm modeling committee chairman currently. I'm not sure that I'm doing a very good job of that, but I'm modeling committee chairman. I've been really active with the N&W Society. I'm also a member of the Southern Society, and at one time I was the diesel editor for Tiles.
Really? I didn't know that.
So, yeah.
That's cool. Let's see some more questions. We've got... let's see, we already answered that one. Ed, back in your day, did you shoot any trains in Spartanburg?
I periodically would be in Spartanburg. I mean, there was a 1218 left Spartanburg and went to Salisbury and back one time that we shot. And yeah, I have some freight trains in Spartanburg periodically. Used to go up to Spartanburg and go down to the former CNWC all the way to Augusta chasing trains. And actually come through Spartanburg looking at the clinch field of the CNWC to Augusta on a regular basis.
So we already answered some of those questions earlier about the 2 railroad lines. The I line runs from Cohutta to Cleveland, Tennessee. The H line runs from Chattanooga down to Atlanta. And the H line, which we're on right now, sees a heck of a lot more trains than the other line does. So, okay, let's see. Apparently... let me see. I saw some comment about one of those horse units. 229 has the 4003 leading. Apparently, I guess that's one of the main horse units.
Yeah, that's one of the. I'm not sure. I can't remember if that's got the red or the. Anyway, might have the red.
Hopefully, it comes by during light because
yeah,
that would be cool to see.
229 is due any time now. We're still light right now. 229 and 282 are probably the 2 hottest trains that come through here. And 229 is a Chicago, got a northbound.
Northbound coming.
Must be 370 maybe. But 229 is a hot train. It's got a bunch of UPS that goes to Jacksonville from Chicago, and 282 is more or less its counterpart.
Awesome. I'm going to flip the camera around for this train and get set up for it. So if you're just now joining us, we are live from Cohutta, Georgia, in the backyard of the one and only Ed Painter. And we are having a great evening, watching trains, eating hot dogs and brats and drinking Yingling. I mean, what's your favorite draft of choice there, Ed?
Well, I like porters and stouts. I mean, but the Yingling Black and Tan is a really nice. Price is good, and it's a decent tasting beer. I like darker beers. I don't like lighter beers.
So if you're just now joining us, hit that like button. It helps out so much with the YouTube algorithm. Share away. Share this feed. We're sorry about the super unbelievably boring feed earlier of the birds chirping, but it was very backed up earlier. And now I think we're going to have a decent evening rush of trains here. So we'll stay live until it gets really dark and just kind of hang out with you guys. So thanks for tuning in. Awesome. Seeing a lot of likes come in. Thank you guys for hitting the... Let's see. Some more questions coming in. Trains and Model Trains production says if you go to Spartanburg now, it's changed a whole lot. Yes, it has.
I can imagine. So I lived in Clemson, so I was pretty close to Spartanburg.
I'm surprised you don't like the color orange more.
Clemson's my second favorite football team.
I was going to say, those orange engines, man. Reminds you of Clemson.
Kerry has a few thoughts in his life as being an Alabama fan.
Hey, roll Tide. I like Alabama.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to shut up now so people can hear the train. Now they're going upgrade, right, Ed?
It's climbing here.
Okay, they're climbing. Going up the hill.
Don't fall down here. About a minute on to put that chair down. I can just see it tip-topping over. Givos, sounds like.
Wonder if this is the one that stalled out. Another Gevo. Another Gevo.
Hey, I've got stock in Wabtec too, so I like to see GE locomotives.
I got stock in Wabtec too, so.
It's a good thing, you know.
So, Carrie, what did you say earlier about the stacks there? They're socially distancing.
Well, somebody said it.
Oh,
I saw it and laughed.
I see. I see.
It is odd how you'll see these big groupings of empties on the head end.
Isn't that weird?
And a little set of 5 stacks and then another large group of empties.
Guess you could say the odds are stacked against us.
Perhaps something like that.
Or-
That should have been 282, by the way, which was the other Jacksonville, the Jacksonville Chicago train. And it's Monday, so we didn't see any UPS. He must not have loaded anything over Sunday or whatever, Saturday.
So Ed, I'm gonna go get my camera, but while I'm gone, tell everybody your favorite Saluda memories. You want another Yingling?
Another Yingling while you're bring my phone. This has still got a sip in it.
Okay. All right. Where's your phone at?
Should be on my desk.
Okay. I'll grab it for you.
The Saluda thing was a lot of fun. I had a friend that lived over that way, and we did a lot of photography there together. Got to know all the train crews, and they were great when you got to know them. As far as got to ride with some regularity, you got to really understand how things worked with things. Trains going up grade, down grade. Road foreman would ride the head end down grade every time when a train went from Asheville to Spartanburg. When they would come back from Spartanburg, they would have to triple or quadruple or double their trains up the hill because there were length limitations, not based on so much on the what the locomotives could pull, but what was relative to the curvature and the difficulties with stress and strain on stuff going through the curves. But just a great place to watch trains. I mean, the Belmont coal trains, mid-train units going down grade loaded, coming back empty, mid-train stuff again. Just a neat place to do rail fanning.
Ed? Hey, Ed, somebody typed a question in saying,
there
was
you
you there when 611 stalled?
Yes.
Was it the 94 trip?
Yes. Yeah, I was there, definitely. I got a bunch of shots. At that time, Bob Lone, what was his stuff called? A bunch of my videos ended up in Bob Lone's tapes, 611 on Saluda. We'll include those same tapes and stuff that Drayton's going to do for Delay and Block.
Well, somebody actually put a question out for me. I have a question.
What's the question?
So, forgive me, Matt. I'm very terrible at names, but Matt, R-A-N-I-E-R-I, forgive me, buddy. He asked, Brian and Carrie, I have a question. What is your favorite autumn activity? Well, Brian is not here, so I can tell you, during the fall season, I usually like to go hiking. I do a lot of rail fanning. I don't do rail fanning in the summer because, of course, we're in Tennessee, so it's hotter than blue blaze out
Not
here.
that hot around here.
Oh, you know, the humidity.
It's not like a real thing in Arizona like I've been doing lately.
Well, you know, we're a step close to Mississippi, so you know, it's the humidity. As was one of the guys up in Rapido said when they came down and did the features for the B-36s, I laughed because he said the humidity was like 2,000%. But during the fall season, I rail fan here and there. I do a lot of hiking during the fall season, you know, and somebody that blew a tire, but fish, but 90% of the time I work, so I really don't have personal time for myself.
Well, when he retires and gets old like I am, he'll be able to rail fan all he wants to and hike all he wants to and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's a nice, wholesome hobby, and you know, there's a lot of worse things we'd be doing, spending our time with, rather than taking train pictures or model railroading or so forth.
Ed, you got another question. What is your favorite steam engine?
I probably like the NWY class locomotives, the 2882s. 611 and 1218 were beautiful locomotives, the A's and the J's, but the Y's were just incredible workhorses. And where I lived in Virginia and on the West Virginia border, you know, the NW used Y's primarily on all types of freight trains, so I like Y's.
All right. They run 611 over Saluda twice in the 90s.
I believe they did.
So I know about the one they stalled on the hill.
I thought they did it twice. Maybe I'm.
Well, you do have
I've-
a video where
I flew in back from Arizona last night, and I got in late last night, and 3 hours time difference. I finally fell asleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I woke up at 6.
Oh,
So I'm not real sharp today. So
Oh, you sound like
so
me.
they may have only. I don't know. I'd have to, rest my brain and think about that.
Then again, it probably did because I know
I
we
think it ran
watched
twice.
the video back earlier.
I know that
this year
they
about
ran a diesel powered excursion over the grade,
it.
because I was a Greenville chapter in RHS, and I was a car host on that particular excursion.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, there you go. Let's see here. Bear with me. I'm not delirium blocks Drayton. I'm
Drayton should be
trying to read the
broadcasting
questions.
the news or something.
Yeah. You know, kind of like the traffic guy. Tell the traffic. But let's see here. Let's see here. They're popping out like wildfire here. Have y'all seen R.J. Corbin Railroad? And that's from Brandon Rice up in Kentucky. I haven't seen them yet. Actually, matter of fact, I may possibly be seeing them tomorrow up in Nashville, because we got to take a buddy of ours back to the airport in Nashville. So somewhere along we're going to stop at the Nashville and Eastern. Hopefully we'll see a red and silver R.J. Corbin GE. If not, still I get to see the Nashville and Eastern. Let's see here. That sounded horrible.
No, it sounded fine. I've seen R.J. Corman in Ohio on some of the former CNWC. CLNW, Cleveland, Lorraine, and Wheeling, CLNW, former B&O, and seems like I saw some in West Virginia on the former B&O also at one time.
Yeah. Let's see here. Charlie Smith says, you and Ed are such a joy. I love the accent.
Yeah, we're not from New York.
We're definitely not from New York, I'll tell you that. So,
yeah.
Let's
Glad
see
you like
here.
the accent.
Amtrak has worldwide trains and trucks. Says, have you seen the Amtrak Phase 2? I guess one of the heritage units or something.
Yeah. We don't get Amtrak through here. We'd have to go the closest Amtrak to us is go to Atlanta, which would be the Crescent. So we don't get a lot of Amtrak stuff as far as looking at it here.
Yeah,
When I lived in Clemson, the Crescent went right by my house.
I was going to say, I've only seen the museum train once, and that's about 2012 up at the North Carolina Transportation Museum. So, all right. We got more on the 611 here. Ed, have you shot the 611 in Roanoke?
Oh yeah, many times. In fact, I think in 1982, when the 611 first came back from being renovated in Southern Shops in Irondale, I lived in Lynchburg at the time, working for Babcock and Wilcox, and I was actually home, which was a miracle. I wasn't out at some nuclear plant doing an outage. And we chased it from Lynchburg all the way back into Roanoke when Robert Clater was the engineer. First time it was introduced to everybody in Roanoke, I got a lot of nice pictures of him at the little podium outside the cab, and got several really nice shots between Lynchburg and Roanoke of it. And then you know, just chased it a lot. You know, the the Norfolk Southern Steam program with 611 and 1218, you had lots and lots and lots of activity there for a number of years. And yeah, a lot of fun. Go back up to Virginia and West Virginia and get pictures of it on its home rails.
Let's see here. Like I said, bear with me here. I'm trying to answer a lot of the questions from the Delay and Block's glorious fans here. I'm not Drayton, so you know.
Drayton does a good job.
He
with
does
all
a
this
fantastic
stuff.
job.
My girlfriend, who's not a railroad fan at all, and lives in Arizona, I just got back from seeing. And it's really sort of cute because she really appreciates how well he does with the production stuff and how well he narrates and all that. And she also thinks, in terms of me, she thinks it's a really healthy hobby for somebody to have,
Yeah.
as opposed to other hobbies. But Drayton does a great job.
Yeah, that's good. Well, another question for you, Ed. Have you seen all 20 of the heritage units?
I have. I think I've actually photographed all of them too. So yes, it's rather interesting. I've got I can't remember what the exact number is now, but I've got a pretty large number of spotting things for heritage units. You know, the online heritage units sites.
Yeah, heritage
I sit there. I sit there at my desk in my library at the desk, and I look out the window and I see the line right up here. So I'll be sitting there just doing whatever, and unit will come by, and I'll just you know, mark it down as, you know. But yeah, but likewise, living here as we do, or as I do, it's you just shooting a lot of trains, you end up getting all of them one time or another.
Yeah, I tell you what's funny is I don't really have to get on heritageunit.com. If anything's coming north, I usually check Facebook, and
well, yeah,
you usually have a photo up no less than 10 minutes, and I'll usually just drive up to somewhere around town to wait for it. So
I had a friend one time say he had real-time posting.
Absolutely, absolutely. There was a comment I just read that said, and this was from NNW611J, saying, "I really wish that could have seen 1218." I'll be honest with you. I wish 1218 would have been restored, and I'm probably gonna get booed for this, but I wish 1218 would have been the one that got restored instead of 611. I'm trying not to be biased by it.
They're both great locomotives, but yeah, I think the 1218 was a more interesting locomotive in a lot of respects.
Absolutely, had an interesting history.
Perhaps the finest locomotive ever built. You know, steam locomotive ever built. You know, if you look at Ed King's book, The Mercedes of Steam.
Mm-hmm.
Quite Ed King's a friend of mine. He's great design. NNW's locomotive design group in Roanoke, Virginia, and their fabrication was incredible, and just made fantastic machines.
Brandon Rice made a comment, says that we have a lot of CSX locomotives here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Well, we got various of CSX equipment down here too, but unfortunately we're nowhere close to it. We're basically on the Georgia division. So, and as I step on the left stage here.
No, you're good. You're good, Carrie.
We're having a great. We've been saying nice things about you, though.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Here, I'll just pop a squat right here.
You're a pretty good interviewer, Carrie.
Yeah, I try not to look at the camera, you know.
He's good at carrying on.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's looking for future employment, maybe just changing careers.
There you go.
You know.
I'll let you ask the questions if you want, since you've got the feed there. I can't really use my phone because it's right there.
Yeah, I'm just steady just looking and trying to troll at the same time, which I'm not, you know. In case most of y'all wonder who typed in all caps GVO, that was me, so.
I thought he was the one that said the containers were socially distancing, because that sounds like something Carrie would say.
No. Although whoever it is, I'm going to take note of it. So.
I thought that one was great. Well, I'll just say, you know, I'm originally from South Central Michigan, and I moved down here about a year ago to start my new job at Scale Trains. And one thing I'll say about Chattanooga is probably the friendliest bunch of rail fans down here. One of the things that I really like is there's really not a lot of rail fan drama down here. Up north, Chicagoland, people get all torn up about this locomotive and that steam locomotive and all these crazy Facebook memes and
just don't turn over.
Yeah,
all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I may not have to flip off the side of the hill here.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, one too many beers. And
But everybody down here is just so friendly, and that's what I love so much about the South. I think part of it's Southern hospitality, but there's also a lot of really good people down here. And Ed, you know, really appreciate you sharing your house with so many people.
Fine.
That's one of the things I think that's so important about this hobby is, you know, younger people, we don't really get to experience content. You know, we don't, unless it's posted online, most of us probably aren't going to buy a book. And that's one of the things I really like about what Ed does is he posts a lot of his photos on Facebook to share it with everybody. And that's one thing that I really like that you do. You share your house, you share your model railroad, you share your stories, you share your photos. And without older people in this hobby to mentor younger guys, we just simply would not have a hobby. And I think you could probably speak to it, Carrie, but I would say Ed's probably a pretty big mentor to a lot of people down here.
Yeah, he's more like I got too many father figures in the world, and he happened to be one of them. He stays on my case a lot of times. So it's always good to have someone to really stay on your case, you know, put some fire on your rear end so you can go ahead in life. And
Carrie does some really good things, makes good decisions. good guy. You know, you've done well, and you'll do even better over time.
Can I take?
You got one right there, right
Oh,
there.
that's right. That's right.
Mike, come on over here and say hi to the live stream. We got our good friend Mike Binkley coming over here. What were you going to say, Brian? I'm
I was
sorry.
going to say this. Mike brought me over to Ed's house for the first time a year ago. And Ed and I struck up an immediate friendship, kinship, common interest of trains, and just in discussions over the past year, I realized that him and I have many other similar interests, too many to name. But yeah, you're right. Southern hospitality is the best way to describe these people. And I'm already planning my vacation down here for either early spring or late fall when it's more normal for normal weather.
Yeah.
As a fellow northerner, you can understand.
Absolutely.
So let's get one thing aligned here, though. His ancestry
I have Southern blood.
is both Kentucky and Alabama. Southern Railway engineer out of Birmingham.
I'm back home. That's where I am. I'm back home.
He's just been
He's a transplant.
brought back to his roots.
That's right, and they're great roots. Song of the South, sweet potato pie, and I shut my mouth.
Thank you.
Right? Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So, Mike, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Everybody here has kind of had a brief introduction.
By the way, Mike was the cook.
I'm the grill master, guys.
He
Mike
always
Binkley.
cooks.
Nice to meet all of you. I'm also a train enthusiast, model railroad, real trains. I travel in between Memphis, South Pittsburgh, down to Cohutta, Georgia. We all get together on the weekends and we just have a great time, and I love doing it.
And we're going to take a quick break because here comes a train.
Oh, man.
Choo,
Snuck
choo.
up on us.
We're a green train.
Yeah.
Hopefully the picture won't be too grainy. Yeah.
Here, another
Another one coming? Y'all think that that might be the 4003?
Could be. We'll know when it gets here.
215, 229, whatever.
I'm gonna go get my actual camera just in case.
Run, Forrest, run.
Just in case.
I'll be lazy and sit down again.
Yeah, I had fun with that. The on-off button on that camera also switches it between photo and video mode.
Uh-huh.
So I must have, when I turned it off, it flipped to photo. So I sat there, hit the shutter button, and lo and behold, I took a photo. Yeah, well,
They stuck a grain train up on Raccoon Mountain yesterday. We'll have to figure out a way to get Jonathan Guy in on this too. Man, I love that curve down there. Golly, from up here on the hill, that is amazing.
go ahead, I'm not recording.
You know what we should do?
When I used to do video, I used to
We should go in 3 or 4 of
Yeah,
us
no,
and get a golf
hey,
cart.
Ed, and I appreciate that.
The old golf cart, and we can fix up a little bit, drive it just downhill.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you asking. I really do.
Where'd the Drayton go?
To get this camera.
I sent you a new link on your as a text. This one should work. Oh, we're in a break right now. I've rated you.
Hey, I even got my northern shirt on, baby.
Bye.
And
I
we
got
still
that.
let you stay.
When did the Quad Cities hold
Yes,
their huge
most of
event?
them do.
Is that 2012?
What's that?
Maybe.
Brian,
What?
when the Quad Cities held their big event where the 2 Chinese QJs came in, 765 came in, the Zephyr came in, the big thing out at the Quad Cities. Was that 2012? 13?
12 or, yeah, something, or 14.
Yeah, no, it wasn't 14 because 14 is when I had my wreck.
Yeah, there's
So I
probably
was
13.
still taking.
So you had a question of those burn marks right after the at the greases. They just came by recently and sprayed weed killer everywhere. So they went a little wild on the weed killing. I got part of my yard off the eye line, but that's I guess what they do.
So are we still podcasting?
Yes.
Yeah, live on YouTube.
Yeah, buddy.
Evening from England. I've got some good friends in Dorset that are rail fans that I've known for years. Ann and Richard Hood.
Oh, I'm really pushing the ISO on this.
You're pushing what?
The ISO. Keep my focus.
Yeah.
The track greasers are right to the far right of the picture. You can sort of see the solar collectors above them, just beyond that first area of brush you see to the right of the track.
Yeah, that's all right.
I had some good times in Ontario shooting CP and CN back in the 70s. Oh no, the black marks on the tracks are actually where the grease has from the greaser.
Ed, you're getting a lot of comments on getting the virtual rail fan camera up here.
I've thought about doing a virtual, or at least a camera where I could observe what went on from the house.
Let's see here.
Several greaser questions there. I keep a bunch of questions come up. It's hard to sort of keep track of them here. And this is we're on the Georgia division here. Somebody had asked what division. Yes, Sterling, it's been a while since I've seen you. Come see me sometime. Yeah, what greasers do, they lubricate between the flange and the inside of the rail, so they reduce the wear, the metal on metal wear when you go through curves. Somebody wants to do a 360 of the area. When Drayden gets back, we'll let him do that so I don't tear the camera up, which is probably smart. Okay, number 4, southbound Clear Williams. Okay. So if you're looking at it passing TVRM, see if it's got a heritage unit or one of the specially painted 4000 series units on it. And if that's the case, it would be 229.
And it'll be dark before it gets here.
It'll be very close to dark, yes. Yes, 4003 on 229, somebody says. That's what we've heard.
Ed, what do you think of the technology of all these young whippersnappers?
It's yeah. It's sort of overwhelming at times.
Hey, I see somebody left a $5 super chat.
Yeah, that was James.
Hey!
Take Ed out to eat.
Awesome. Let's go to the Mexican place.
That'll be fine.
Here, we'll turn it back over so y'all can see us. There we go.
Sit down, Mike.
No.
If a train comes, I have to get up.
I know.
I can't keep track of all these trains.
They're not scale trains.
They're not.
Have you introduced Jonathan yet?
No. So, the ladies and gensets, boys and Gevos, the one and only Jay Guy.
Hello, YouTube world. I'm famous now.
I don't know if I'd say that.
Okay,
but,
infamous. I'm good with that.
No, that's 210. 210's infamous.
You're standing at the top of a really steep drop-off with rocks at the bottom.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, ladies and gentlemen, on the weekend, get you a good grill master, do some brats and dogs and hamburgers, sit around on the hill somewhere, drink a Yingling American-made beer, and have a great time watching trains.
What's up, James? So real quick, I just want to tell everybody, if you want to help support the channel like James did, you can make a super chat, or if you click the links in the description, you can do PayPal, Patreon, or super chat. And it really helps out, allows me to create more content just like this. But I wouldn't be able to do live streams like this on a regular basis without your support. I've got some really exciting videos coming up. I got about 6 or 7 in the pipeline. If you contribute to the channel, I will send you the next several videos. You'll get to see them, in some cases, 2-3 months before everybody else. So if you make a contribution, send me your email. I'll get you taken care of. Thanks for supporting the channel. Carrie, you look like you're dying to say something.
That's it. That's dinner money for Ed. So
Oh, okay.
$5 goes to Ed's dinner.
That's right. We got to take care of our elders.
How much was it?
$5.
It was $5.
We'll go to McDonald's.
Mexican place.
No,
not
Taco
McDonald's,
Bell.
yeah, Taco Bell.
There we go.
We're going to get 2 Taco Supremes for the man. They're good.
That's right. That's right. Here, let's see some more of them comments coming in.
Well, somebody just commented and said that 4003 just passed TVRM.
Okay.
It's going to be probably dark.
It's going to be dark.
It's gonna be
We're
dark.
looking at a half-hour minimum.
Unless they shoot him on through.
Yeah, but he'd have to come straight through.
Yeah.
But we're going to stay here and see it regardless.
Yeah,
and
either way.
Hopefully the light will still be here enough where we can show it to all of you.
And if not, we'll
Unless
just make
the
light of the situation.
Unless the mosquitoes carry us off and they get bit.
Well, yeah. That's true, too.
Sundown is officially in 3 minutes.
That's the Georgia State bird, mosquitoes.
Oh, no, that's Wisconsin state bird, too.
Yeah, you ain't seen mosquitoes till you get up in northern Wisconsin.
Oh boy.
No, they're not mosquitoes. Those are called chiquitos. They're part chicken, part mosquito.
They're the only thing I've seen that line up in bomber formation when they come at you.
Sounds like B-52s.
So we got about 200 people watching right now. At least,
Oh, I got a feeling this is going to be a meme before it's all said and done.
at least I think it wouldn't surprise me if this becomes a meme, but you know.
Yeah,
But this is what it's all about, hanging out with your good friends, watching trains, and just having a good time. That's what we do quite often here at Ed's. A lot of times on Sundays, there's a group of us that get together over here at Ed's and we work on the model railroad. We hang out, we grill out. Hey, I just see we got another super chat here.
$20.
Hey! Now I can buy almost everybody Taco Bell. Maybe, let's see what it says. Maybe take some more of the guys out and find some Chick-fil-A. Hey, Adam McClellan, thank you for supporting the channel.
Amen.
Appreciate that. We will. We're already fat and happy right now because we just had a whole lot of really good Wisconsin brats. But next time we ought to do Chick-fil-A or the Mexican place. There's a really good Mexican place down the road from here. So, Adam, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Really appreciate that, man. So, let's all shoot the bull here. Jay Guy, what was your earliest memory of railroads and what got you interested in trains?
Probably the Milwaukee Road when we lived in Wisconsin.
There's too many Wisconsin folks around here.
Hey now, I moved down here when I was 9. Okay, calm down.
And I was adopted into Wisconsin, so there's 3 on 3 right now, big guy.
But he also cut the brats.
Yeah, well, that's true.
You don't mess with Binkley.
Disqualified him.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah, he'll put you in your place.
I guess I'm banned from Wisconsin.
Hey, we got another super chat. James Wright with $25. Woo! Hey, you got the right idea, James.
I think James is doing that just to mess with us.
Hey,
That's what it is.
listen, if we got to do a bidding war right now, we can see who gives the highest super chat.
You got another train coming?
We got another one coming.
And we got a trespasser.
Oh, that's me.
OMG, Vo. That's not good.
So
He'll be good.
you don't want to turn the camera around so we can watch the
I will.
carnage?
I will. Appreciate all
Hopefully
the
not carnage.
appreciate all the
New hood
super
on
chats.
ornament
No.
on a Givo.
Somebody donate some money so we can take Drayton to Clucking Bell.
I like that.
It's a GTA reference.
Probably 215 with 2 units.
Well, the trespasser was apparently smart enough to move out of the way.
I really thought that was just your nickname for Chick-fil-A.
Somebody said murder shot.
So that was 215.
215.
Chicago to Atlanta.
I'm gonna get some shots of our
So-
live stream party here. Everybody having a good time?
We are.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So we got Ed, we got Brian, we got Jay Guy, we got Binkley, and we got Danger Douglas,
Danger Douglas.
That was a terrible college name.
who's got his crimson hat on right now. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
So Ed, what's your favorite part about sharing your property with everybody?
It's just the fact that it's nice to have friends and so forth, but it's also just nice to let other people enjoy the nice situation I've got here.
And just for my actual video camera, I'm going to show everybody so they know why I'm interviewing you again. I like to take interviews with my friends. So real quick suggestion for everybody. If you're a rail fan and you go trackside with a lot of your friends, take pictures and take videos with your friends, because one day you're going to be old, and one day a lot of people you care about aren't necessarily going to be around, and it's really good to have the memory. So I like to record moments like this to remember these great times with everybody. So and I'm doing it professionally and on the live stream just so that I've got a really good record of it. So real quick, what do we have going on here tonight, Ed? What all happened tonight here at your house?
What all happened? Well, a bunch of the guys came by and we just socialized, visited, watched some trains, and ate some good food, and now we're up on the hill in the middle of your live stream.
So Brian, tell me about your journey down here. Why'd you end up coming down this way?
Oh, well, I'm friends with Mr. Binkley from when he lived in Kenosha.
Oh, man.
And I just had a little bit of a vacation. Found a great deal in Southwest. $29 tickets each way from Milwaukee to Nashville, and thought this would be a great weekend to come down and visit and video some trains for my own YouTube channel and Cheesehead Media, and that's about it.
Awesome. Thanks for coming down. Jay Guy, what's going on with you? You just got into model trains, and you've been diving headfirst into the hobby.
I just got back into model trains after about 20 years.
And what do you think so far about it?
It's come a long way since the Shake the Box Athearn kit. A long way.
And what's your favorite company?
Scale Trains, of course.
Binkley, what about you? What can we expect here when we have you out here for these wonderful friends gatherings at Ed's?
Just good train running and socializing, and just friends getting together and doing what they like to do together. Too many times we all go to the track to watch trains. We're by ourselves or whatever, but you know, just being together is what it's all about, and I enjoy doing it, and that's why I try to come to Ed's as much as I can.
That's awesome. And you're basically the in-house chef.
Yes, sir.
Pretty much. And what did we have tonight? And who brought it down?
Well, Brian was gracious enough to send us some real Wisconsin brats and hot dogs.
Yeah, we'll give a round of applause there for
They
Brian.
were shipped to me, and I brought them up here to share, or we brought them up here to share with everybody. Everybody knows down in the South about the only thing you can get in brats is Walmart brand and Johnsonville, but the real brats, the real cheese, it's all in Wisconsin. So I have several friends that ship stuff like that down to me.
Well, Brian, and like I said earlier, we're glad you brought them to us.
Thank you.
Danger Douglas, what's your favorite part about hanging out here at Ed's?
It's like a mini vacation.
He does. He's got the vacation home.
Yeah. If I want to get away, I'll come out here.
The only thing that Ed's missing, I think, is the passenger car caboose that he can rent out as an Airbnb.
Amen.
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 Yeah.
You can make some money off of that, Ed. You probably get a lot of people off these live streams wanting to come and
Of course,
hang out with you.
this potential renovation of the barn would suffice for quite a significant dormitory.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of trainees.
You could always do that. It might make some money, maybe. You know.
You've got to be a little loco to like trains.
That's something like that.
And you really like trains, don't you, Drayton?
I really like trains.
Oh, my goodness.
So Danger Douglas, what's your favorite thing about watching trains here in Tennessee and Georgia?
Oh, let me answer that. Taking pictures. And when somebody behind him is taking a picture, he always sticks his hand up and waves at the engineer right in front of your picture. That's the man right here.
I think there's like hundreds of photos of just this right here. You know, so hand waves, all that good stuff.
That's awesome. Well, good hanging out with y'all tonight. Thanks for hanging out on the live stream. Awesome.
What type of beer are you having in England? I'd be curious. A porter or a stout or what exactly?
Can't remember who asked that, but he was in England having a beer.
Had to get that little dig in on it.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
I've got a picture that I will send to you on.
Somebody wants you to go to Florida to the FEC.
Well, I really want to go to Florida too. I'm actually probably going to be going to Florida pretty soon to shoot some short lines down that way. Hold on a sec. I'm going to pan the camera around because my tripod's a little jacked up.
Mine.
All right, sorry about that. Had to adjust the tripod a little bit. So you're looking at Ed's front yard. We are on top of the hill, and we're hanging out, watching trains. This line over here is the I line, and the one on the left is the H line. And basically, Ed's house is right in between both tracks. So he's got all kinds of trains here. Not as many on the I line.
Very few. In fact.
Very few. I think under 10 this year.
It's hard to say. There may have been more than that, but a lot of it's company service stuff. You know, maintenance the way, that type of thing.
So we're looking northeast this way.
You're looking somewhat northeast, yes.
All right, so we're gonna pan around, and here's the crew, the motley crew.
Now, Drayton, I got a question for you. If that's the H line and that's the I line, is that high field?
I like that. That's because we all stop by and say hello. I mean,
Drayton's a bad influence, folks. I'm sorry.
He's in a sharper mood today.
so we're all hanging out here on the hill, and then we're looking basically southeast, and then down this way is basically due south. And this is looking towards Atlanta, and basically all our trains going towards Atlanta go this way. Some of them take the I line, but not a whole lot. Not anymore. I'm gonna flip this back this way. The tripod's a little goofy right now, and then flip the camera back towards us so you can hear us a little bit better.
That's cattywampus in Georgia.
Cattywampus.
Camera's a little cattywampus.
There we go. Now we can get everybody in the frame. So we got another train coming. You see my focus is a little bit off here. I'll zoom in on.
Not him. I feel like I'm leaning.
The leaning.
When I sat in a chair on the side of the hill, I was concerned that I was going to tiptoe down the hill there, you know.
So we've got someone saying, I get real brats from the Jersey, Barnard, and LaGrange, Texas. Where is the train layout, says Jonathan P. And Matt's railroad video says in Ed's house.
Yeah, it's in the basement. When I built this house, it's not a huge house, but it's just me full time. But it's a slightly more than 1,900 square foot Southern Living house plan. It was a single floor home. I had a full-size poured basement put into the house, and that's where the railroad is. I also have a large television down there to watch football games and so forth, a little area for that. But designed the house both to watch trains and to build a model railroad.
So Robin Edwards, our friend from England, says that he's really enjoying the fact that he can chat with us from across the other side of the Atlantic Ocean.
Across the pond, as my friends in the south of England tell me.
What we need to do, Ed, is we need to get some lights out here so we can live stream at night.
So where does Robin live in England?
Yeah, where in England do you live, Robin?
Robin.
So there's another southbound behind 229. He hasn't had a chance to respond. There's a little bit of a lag.
And somebody from England was drinking a beer a while ago. They were asking what kind of beer they were drinking.
Matt's railroad video says he might come down this way next year. Come on down and let us know.
Holler at us.
Yeah, holler at us.
We need to do a drawing for an exclusive visit to Ed's house for a weekend and a trip up here on Painter Hill.
What you should do, Ed, it could be a really good fundraiser for NWHS or any group that you could think of, and you could just say it could, if you make a donation of X amount, stay the weekend and watch trains. Donate it to them.
We could possibly consider something like that. I'd have to look into all that, but yes, it could be.
It'd be pretty cool.
10 grand a night, hey.
Yeah, I've had people tell me I should have a campground here. I've had people tell me I should put a motel in,
I think we need to turn this into a railroad museum one day, and we can name it Painter Park. Put a real nice N&W or Southern coach there. Be perfect. And and your videos can just be played on loop in the museum.
I think you're getting carried away a bit.
I think we could build a heck of a bed and breakfast here, though, for sure.
Well, like I said, the barn would make quite be interesting what you could do.
Yeah, we could.
Turn that into a get a 75-inch screen out there and do
Who's the
videos
man
in the
with
barn.
the red hat?
Who's the man with the red hat?
That's what
That's
somebody said.
Danger Douglas.
Yeah,
How you doing,
Kerry
everybody?
Douglas is the guy.
Danger
from-
Douglas.
I'm here for my close-up.
You didn't make it.
I
Step
didn't
over
make it.
here,
Oh,
son.
okay.
Step over here.
Doggone.
There you go.
Kerry from Chattanooga with Alabama roots.
That's right.
Now wait, since you've got two cameras pointed at us, does that make me the B-roll?
It's just B-roll, just in
Okay.
general. You know,
Just
I like
checking.
to have that high-quality B-roll with that professional microphone. So let me see. We got a couple more questions coming through. Sam says you could do what Riley's Rail House does in Chesterton, Indiana. Build a hotel here.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Trains and Model Train Production says, I have no railfan friends, but that's why I have live streams. Well, welcome to our feed. There's 230 people watching right now. Pretty
cool.
pretty crazy.
Pretty cool.
So if you're just now joining us, make sure you hit the like button. It helps out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. And consider supporting the channel through PayPal, Patreon, or Super Chats. If you do so, I will send you my next several videos, and you get to see them in some cases several times, several months rather, before everybody else. So, and you can watch them several times too if you want to. So, appreciate you guys supporting the channel.
You see how many people watching us?
230.
Oh, that's sad, man. they actually spending the evening watching us. That's terrible.
It's Monday night.
Boring day in North America.
Oh,
yeah, true.
It's not the weekend.
I guess so.
True. That's true.
What are these questions?
Where are you? We are in Cohutta, Georgia.
We're about 35 miles or so, basically east to maybe a tad southeast of Chattanooga, Tennessee. We're a mile and a half south of the Tennessee line. We're between Dalton, Georgia, and Cleveland, Tennessee, if you look at a map.
So someone was asking how many trains per month does the I line see, and I think we answered that earlier. But for someone,
It's been extremely sporadic. I mean, we were still getting some coal traffic up until recently. There are some limestone rock trains that go to support the use of scrubbers and some of the Georgia Power coal-fired power plants. We had a major derailment at Spring City, Tennessee,
was
a couple
it
years
17,
ago.
I think.
Yeah.
So, and we everything got detoured through. That was pretty fascinating.
Really?
Yeah, it was amazing what happened with that.
Wow.
But there's not a regular thing. The last two scheduled trains were probably 2016 or so.
Something like that.
125 and 126, and they went Knoxville, Tennessee, which was Sevier Yard, to Macon, Georgia, and back. Each train, but when they shut down the hump at Sevier Yard and lessened what went on there, those trains went away. So,
Someone was asking how far are we from Dalton?
oh, less than 10 miles or less.
Yeah, just up the road, basically.
It's well, I say about it's a little more than 10 miles. Waring, which is in Dalton, control points at the 36, and we're at the 26.
Sam Loves Train says, Brian, you are from my area, only about 30 minutes from Stewart. I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Sturdivant.
You Wisconsinites.
Start of it. My kind of place. I've watched many a train there.
So Trains and Model Trains Productions asks Ed, what are some tips for finding heritage units? Because I know there is an app, but it's unreliable.
Well, the app to some extent has some level of reliability, but there's a lot of stuff that's never put on there. Some of the local rail fan groups that you may be a part of or can be a part of, there's a whole group of rail fan Facebook groups here that deal with, North Georgia, Chattanooga area, Atlanta area, stuff like that. And when you listen to those, what's going on those, with those groups, you're probably more likely to know what's going on with heritage units, perhaps, than listening or looking at heritage units online. So that makes
Says-
sense.
TVRM is 20 or so miles from here.
Correct.
Sam loves train says, I'm from Northern Illinois, not a Bears fan though. Our family is all Packers.
All right.
Go Pack! Hey, I'm from Michigan, and the Lions suck. We all cheer for the Packers.
Keep her moving.
Listen, the last time the Lions won any kind of championship, I believe, was in 1954. You were 4 years old in that time.
3 years old.
3 years
I was born
old.
in 51. So.
My bad. 3 years old. So that's how, the Lions suck. We got a southbound crossing over at Ottawa. WE Train says he's what I call the human ATCS monitor. Charlie Smith says, can I have Ed's social media? You're on Facebook, aren't you, Ed?
I am on Facebook, yes.
So if you just look him up, Ed Painter, he's got 2 profiles, and one of them, the one that you have for trains is with Canyon Diablo in the
There's
background.
a picture of my girlfriend and I, and then Canyon Diablo is the background picture, yes.
And Ed posts all kinds of really cool pictures on there.
That particular one, I post a lot of scanned, edited 35 millimeters going back to the 70s even, and a lot of my current photography.
Lions last one in 1957.
57. I was 3 years off. I knew it was in the 50s.
Simba was still a cub at that time.
And I was
There.
6 years old then.
They are horrible. Someone just said the 4004, I thought it was 4003, is just past TVRM.
Yeah,
And-
I'm pretty sure they're not going to make it here before dark.
No.
Hey, if we drive our cars up here and turn the headlights on, we'll be able to video.
That's
that
true. That is true. We could do that. Wink, wink. I wish I had a light bar. That's what you need. You need a big LED light bar out here. You'd fit in with all the other rednecks, first of all, and you'd be able to get all kinds of trains at night. Perfect.
I've considered some things with that. There may be a future for some lighting up here.
And you ought to get a little gazebo or something.
Well,
like that.
we had talked about possibly building a pavilion up here.
That would be awesome.
It's just so you do it in a way that doesn't damage your angles for photography.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you could only have 3 posts. 1, 2, 3. This one would have to,
Well,
be
what would be
left
cool
out.
is if somehow you could build like one of those, not like a tree house, but if you had the bottom area could be like for a bench seat, and then the top could be like almost a platform,
Like an open platform?
yeah, and that way you don't screw up pictures, and you can still, get to the top of everybody. That'd be cool.
Do like a 3-sided lean-to.
That's not a bad idea. Ed, we need to write the city of Collegedale. We need to tell them when they put up all them bridges that they need to put a little hole in the suicide fences for us.
We can probably work on that maybe. That would be something you'd think they could at least consider.
What we ought to do is send them pictures of the bridge at Crescent in PA, and just say, this is
The-
big boom to the local economy. I mean,
The only problem is,
Crescent or Galitzin?
I'm not sure. Wherever the tunnel is.
Galitzin. It's next to,
Yeah, it's
next to the
Galitzin.
tunnel end.
the only problem is that's a state of Tennessee project and not a Collegedale project.
You know anybody at the state of Tennessee? Anybody know anybody at the state of
Well,
Tennessee?
he might have a
maybe.
few connections maybe with his job.
That'd be great. 'cause-
We'll you never know. If you present it right to Collegedale, they might call the state.
yeah, we ought to send somebody an email. Or
And if
something.
not, Lowe's always has wire cutters.
That's true. That is true. That's happened several times in Northeast Ohio and Northwest Ohio on the Chicago line. They put them big fences up and people cut little holes in them. But if you do it in a way, because Collegedale's big about trains, like their little park, they've got a caboose, and then the other by the Greenway, they've got that little children's park with the train on the side of it. So, I mean, we could just say that's
In
just,
both of their children's parks, they've got a train related.
yeah. We should just say, go along with all the train themed things.
Did you know they used to have a locomotive in the park?
What?
Yep.
Yep,
They
it was
used
a
to.
little U.S. Army.
What, center cab something? Or?
No, it was an end cab, but it was. Oh, I don't remember. What a lot of the museums got their start with those little GEs.
Like 65-ton switcher type deals. Or,
Yeah, a 45-ton.
yeah.
We're getting to the point where people can't even see us because it's getting so dark.
What? I can't hear you.
Well, maybe that's a
we
good
got a
thing. Oh
question.
no.
Hey, there we go.
Good question.
Someone says, "Where in Vermont are you from?" That was to somebody else in the chat. Have you been down the CSX W&A sub, Ed?
Yes, good bit of it, absolutely. It's not too far away from here to Tunnel Hill and Dalton and so forth. Yeah.
We gotta improvise around here, man.
That's great, Gary.
Carrie's become the light post.
Yep.
Jeez.
Well, we've got a grill master. Now we have a light man. You know, come on.
And you got
Clean the lens off. Apparently your
So-
lens is dirty.
So we've got the grill master, the lighting expert,
Technician.
the video guy, the grip, and 3 photographers.
That's it.
Okay.
Hey, I got a better idea. This thing doubles as a light source too.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy. Oh, the battery pack.
I liked it better when the light was getting lesser.
Oh man, you're not into the spotlight, huh?
We're getting a ton of questions we're missing.
Actually, not really. I've been watching them.
Are you?
Oh, hello.
Wow.
There we go.
You got the cows excited with the hear 'em all mooing in the background?
I guess so.
Here's a question for you, Drayton.
Yes.
Trains and Model Trains Productions wants to know, what is the best tripod to film trains with?
Man, so I had a really awesome Manfrotto a few years ago, but how are we looking on the light? Actually, that's not too bad. The only thing we're missing right now is a little campfire.
That's it.
That's right. We've got the beer. We need a campfire.
So I'll come back over here. So I had a really awesome Manfrotto tripod a few years ago, but there is a really small part that goes to it that broke off, and I cannot get parts for it anywhere. And it's one of those weird parts that you can't get in a store or a camera store. It's one of those things where you got to buy basically a whole new leg. There we go. I feel like, here, turn it around. It's like this little light of mine. That's what we're like right now.
You're in the spotlight.
Oh man. Well, anyway, so Manfrotto tripods are great. I use a really cheap Velbon tripod right now, and I refuse to buy anything better until I can pay cash for it, because I didn't pay cash for the last one. So, big Dave Ramsey fan here. Don't finance your model trains either. Just personal advice. Not saying I have any experience with that, but
It sounds like you're throwing a jab there.
you know, don't finance your trains. Buy them with cash. Because if you got cash, it's your bash.
Hey, can I throw something in there, Drayton?
Throw it in there.
You know, to me, it isn't actually the tripod itself, it's a tripod head.
Yes.
So, you know, that's probably a better way to describe it. I mean,
How well it swivels and
exactly. You know,
stability.
there are heads that are designed for video. You buy a good quality tripod like a Manfrotto or something, you can put any head you want on it. And
Yeah.
interchangeable. I got 3 different heads for my tripod. So,
I used to have, when I did video, I had a large Bogan tripod. It was heavier than all get out. But it was really good grief. Lord,
who wants to blind us?
every mosquito in my 33 acres of property has zoomed in right on that location.
Hey,
Holy
that's
cow.
Golly, Dad.
Did anybody bring sunblock?
hey, that's taking
I
it.
need sunglasses.
Yeah, I think we need to go with the old ZZ Top song,
Good
cheap
grief.
sunglasses, when
Hey.
we're out here like
Lord,
that.
That
mercy.
gives a Zoom meeting a whole new meeting.
Right,
I
right.
am spitting out mosquitoes now.
Oh man. Oh man.
Good source of protein.
I thought we just had the brats.
Buzz,
Yeah.
buzz, buzz.
How much does a camera cost?
Depends on what you're looking for.
That's exactly it.
Video, DSLR.
There's this
digital,
awesome thing
camera.
called the internet, and you can look for cameras there.
You can even go on a B&H Camera New York's a good place to check.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very
Yeah.
reputable camera place. Go online with eBay and look at camera pricing on eBay. And
My best advice, since you brought that up, my best advice, especially if you're buying a camera, is to make sure
It's
if
a
you're
Canon.
buying. Well, not that. Well, to make sure if you're buying a camera, let me get in the light so everybody can see me. Make sure if you're buying from a dealer. I bought my last lens from a dealer up in Indianapolis, and make sure that whatever you buy has good ratings. Because most camera shops, especially if they sell on eBay, most of them I know of, usually test them. They usually, you know, they put them to the test to make sure they're good, and then look at the ratings of that product you buy, especially if you buy used.
And the feedback that the store itself,
Yeah,
the shop
absolutely,
has gotten. You know,
absolutely.
and the thing with eBay, you got the feedback to look at. You know,
229 is at Long.
You
okay,
know,
which is 4 miles.
Sam's Train World said 175 has the 4004 and high wads.
You know, another one I would say is buy what your friends have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if most of your friends are Canon shooters, go with the Canon, because then you can swap out lenses. If both of your
Hey,
friends
Tom Folden.
are Nikon users, go with a Nikon. You know, if your friends are micro four thirds, go with that. You know, do something. You have then a network, a support network to help you out.
And if your friends have one of those turn of century cameras with the gunpowder, buy that too.
Yeah. Well,
Gunpowder.
Yeah, you know, they
the
put the
gunpowder flash.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Jeez.
Hey, we
I gotta
got
be
a
comedian here, okay?
We got a
Jeremiah.
$5 super chat. Just want to give a shout out to Jeremiah Roy. He asks, "Hey guys, nice stream. Question: how does one get hired by Scale Trains?" Well,
That's your question.
Yeah, that's all you there, buddy.
honestly, some days I don't know how I got hired, so I don't know how much advice I can give you there. But if you're looking for a job, Scale Trains is looking for a graphic designer right now. So if you have any kind of interest in working for a model railroad company, I can give you advice about what it's like to work for a model railroad company. A lot of people think it's all fun and games. We make cool products, but it is a job. And, we have to be really careful what we share with people publicly. Unfortunately, we can't share what the next locomotive is or the next freight car is. We got to really keep that tight-lipped because, we don't want to let anything out of the bag. And, of course, there's a lot of competition as well. So, I get asked all the time, what's the next Scale Trains engine? I just can't tell them. It's just not something I can do, or else I won't have a job for very much longer. So,
Drake, what's the next Scale Train engine?
oh, I knew it. But so it's a great company to work for. I am a little biased, but everybody at Scale Trains, the thing I'll say is, our products are great, but our people are just as great. The Wilsons, they're wonderful people to work for. Mike Hopkin, Joe Olvera, and Paul Ellis, they're all great people to work with, and they treat us like family, and that's what it's all about. So we've got a couple more questions. Another guy from England. Hi from England. What model gauge trains do you have? He's asking all of us. Do you prefer double O gauge, N gauge, or O gauge? I'm guessing double O is HO scale.
No, it is not.
It's not. Really?
It is not. Because HO would be 187th, double O is 172nd.
Oh, wow.
So if in the United States, Lionel did a double O for a while. And to be honest with you, I really wish that it would have taken off over HO. Just a little bit bigger. The detail parts are just a little bit larger, and it's easier to work on because of that.
Our friend Mike Slater has a double O.
Yeah, he's got everything Lionel
and
made.
it is awesome to watch run. He generally takes it to Railfest up in Milwaukee and sets up a booth and runs the double O scale because nobody has it anymore in the United States. It's a very hard thing to come by, especially track. Track is very hard to come by.
So, but the answer to the question is, I think we're all HO gauge modelers.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much all
Everybody's HO
HO.
gauge here.
So,
And most of us have Scale Trains engines. No, they didn't give them to us. We had to buy them, but we test them and we run them and we give them feedback on how good they are or things that they can do better. And
And generally speaking, they're pretty doggone good. They're probably the
They're
best,
good.
the best in the
And y'all
industry.
remember, send Scale Trains an email and tell them that their next southern run of high hoods, we need low control leaders.
And we need just NS high hoods in
And for
general.
that-
And
those
just
of you-
NS high hoods. Yeah.
So loco troll leaders were when Southern ran the mid-train slave cars with mid-train units, the lead units for that loco troll. They had white number boards, and there's an additional group of antennas and so forth on the roof of the locomotive that gave it the ability to control the mid-trains.
well, it's Southern Railway, so I'm not a Southern Railway guy.
Southern Railway, good quality railroad.
See, we let him hang with us anyway.
they're very fortunate to have a, you know,
CSX.
CSX.
I'm thinking of
Seaboard,
Century
thing.
430, but that's me.
Yeah, there was
I hear a train.
a time where it was adopt a CSX fan, and Kerry happened to be along, and we just took him in, you know.
They felt bad for me, you know.
So this is going to be our last train of the evening, and I highly doubt you'll be able to see anything but the headlights of the leader.
Turn your thing
Turn
on.
that big light around.
we will,
Turn
but
that mosquito.
I'm still blind from looking at it.
What?
That's better than nothing.
even then, I mean,
By the way, did everybody put the food up with Calypso in the house?
I did.
Yes.
We're on top of
Jonathan
it.
Guy and I cleaned all the
Well,
food up.
all the condiments are put back in the refrigerator.
I wonder
Hey,
about-
Mike, you want to back up a little bit?
Oh, my bad.
And you didn't put the trash
peace.
bag in the hall.
Hey, Mike.
The trash bag is on top
Gary.
of the washer and dryer, and I closed the door.
Oh, nice.
Well, it might not do any good, but I tried.
It's got to be 229.
Are you trying to give him a signal or something?
there we go.
You're a little too late on that.
To back up and do another run by. We could tell if we were Casey Thomas.
We shouldn't have been, you know, half an hour faster. Well, at least I can say I saw one.
Yep.
Kind of weird to hear that kind of a horn on it.
There's not a lot of rhyme or reason with horns anymore. Seems like the horns are just very inconsistent as to what's on.
So for those wondering, it takes about that long to get from TVRM to here by rail.
So I just want to say thank you to everybody who contributed via Super Chat. Thanks so much for your contribution, and I will definitely send you the next series of videos. I've got 3 new videos on Lawasse, North America, Tennessee's Limestone Railroad. Some pretty cool stuff there. I've got a video from Memphis, Tennessee. It's more so just a compilation of random trains that I saw while I was there, including some Illinois Central Death Star locomotives, which is pretty cool. I've also got a series coming up on the Georgia Central Railroad and the Rock Island, the new Rock Island Railroad down in Mississippi. So for your contribution, I will send you those videos so you can see them before everybody else. In this case, several months before everybody else. And I really look forward to sharing those with you. Ed, thanks so much for sharing your backyard with us. We really appreciate it.
It's always fun. We have a good time together. It's good, very good.
Absolutely, and appreciate you sharing all your stories. Carrie, thanks for coming. Jay Guy, Mike, Brian, thanks for bringing the food.
Good to
You're
be
welcome.
here.
Thanks for cooking, Mike.
Welcome.
We'll do this again sometime on a weekend where we can just do sunrise to sunset, and actually, hopefully, there'll be some trains because we didn't see any for
Do you
like
need a
5
car
hours.
battery to charge your phone?
Yeah.
Today, whatever happened on Atlanta North with the train that got stalled on the single track or whatever, and then the other thing with CSX doing all the track work between, on the
Yeah.
line to
The
Memphis. So we
Nashville
had a
division,
bunch of, just not a good day.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's Monday.
It is Monday. We had a lot of
Columbus
things.
Day.
Monday's a slow day.
That's right,
Yeah,
Columbus
Monday's a slow
Day. So.
Columbus, Georgia Day.
Well, we appreciate you all hanging out with us. Let's take some last minute questions. One more round of questions before we sign off. Do we have any more questions coming in? Don't think we have any serious questions left. So that might be the end of the stream.
So good
Awesome.
night, ladies
Awesome.
and gentlemen, from Painter Hill in Cohutta, Georgia.
That's right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.
Salute.
Give us 1 star.